Hi, I'm Bob Deever, and I attend Grace West Church in West Des Moines. And I just like to share my story of my spiritual journey with you. It started many years ago when I was in junior high, and I would walk around the school in the hallways, and there were the 10 Commandments on the walls. And I would look at those 10 Commandments every now and again, and I realized that I had broken many of those many times, and it bothered me, and I really wasn't quite understanding why. I think there was something inside of me that was telling me that this is wrong and you shouldn't do this, but I didn't quite get it. So like most people, I just didn't bother. I kept suppressing those things, and I didn't understand about Jesus and God and all that kind of stuff. I'd heard about those things, but it really didn't matter to me. And I just sort of suppressed all that and continued living my life how I wanted. Let's fast forward several years. I'm married now. I have 2 great kids, I got a good job, I have everything going for me, and I still could not understand the nagging things that had always been in my mind, and that is, what happens when you die? How come I was afraid of dying? How come those 10 Commandments, when I would break them, would bother me? How come when I would tell a lie or something like that, even though I wasn't doing this frequently, it still would crop up, and I would have this nagging inside question saying, why is that a concern for me? I didn't understand the purpose of life, but yet I knew that there was something greater than that, and I didn't understand how come eternity concerned me so much and why I would think if we just evaporate when we die. I was at work one day, and I had overheard a couple guys talking about their past experience as well, and they were sharing their life, and I thought, well, there's a lot of similarities there, and so I started asking them for their insight of this nagging question that was in me of eternity. And they started sharing with me that they were born-again Christians, and I really didn't understand what that meant. So I asked them, I said, could you help me understand why these things bother me so? And they started sharing with me that the 10 Commandments were given by God for us to realize that we have an eternal purpose, an eternal answer to a holy God, and that the 10 Commandments were designed to help us be aware of sin in our life, and if we were to die breaking those 10 Commandments without a payment for our sin, we would face judgment of God, which is hell, and that is why there was a concern for my dying without knowing Christ. They explained the purpose of the blood of Christ on the cross was to pay for those sins, and if I would just confess to God that I was a sinner and that was what I needed was the blood of Christ to pay for that, then when I were to die, I would be okay with God and there wouldn't be a concern. And so I did that. I said, you know, what do I need to do? They said, just simply ask Christ to come into your life and confess that you're a sinner and mean it and believe it, and I did that. And I can tell you that my life changed after that. It just took away that nagging concern of eternity and that question of what happens when you die and that fear of death, and it replaced it with the hope and a sense and a purpose of spending eternity with Him in heaven. So my question is to you, would you consider that as well? Maybe you have those same questions that I had. Maybe you're not certain about your eternal state. Maybe you're not aware of what happens when you die. Maybe there's some of those same questions about your purpose that you have in life that I have. I would just encourage you to think about this. Think about what I've shared with you. There is a purpose for our being here, and there is a judgment coming upon us. And I would just want you certainly to be ready to face God in a right way, and that's only through the blood of His Son Christ. So give that some consideration, and I certainly thank you for watching this video. Have a blessed day.